Alright, so here's the top of the display case. I got a run of Bixby shoe polish bottles. Clear, light amber, amber. Then we go to round, and it's amber, olive green, aqua, and clear. Here's a green bottle for you. And that's what the base looks like. It says Bixby. And this needs some cleaning, but I'm about to be moving anyway, so I'll clean after I move. I'm going to probably be storing these in a storage unit, so I might not even bother cleaning these, because everything that's going to be in my personal collection will be in storage, and then the stuff I'm selling will be out. And I'll get these out of storage when I get my own place again, that way I can display them. I'm going to go over a few quick odds and ends before I film the rest of the inks. So I got two hutch stoppers here in case I need to slip them into a hutch. The rubber part's missing, but the wire and part of the gasket's still there. And then I got this from Jeffrey Hall, who was nice enough to send this to me. I'll get in focus for you. Maybe too close though. It's a buffalo nickel. From 1935. Next up is the no-name inks. So we got this heavy desktop ink. It is a nice color. I don't know what color you'd call this exactly. Maybe sapphire blue. I don't know. Has a ground lip. This is only desktop ink I found that's in a color that's not clear. This one also has no name. It's a spool ink. It's blown. Has what looks like a 10 on the base there. Then got a couple of these cobalt inks. I don't think any of them say anything. Auctioned a couple of those off in auction the first time I did an auction. Put one in each lot, so each person would get a cobalt. So those two are slightly different, and then there's the large one, and they're dusty, but I'm going to be putting those in storage anyway, so I'll clean them up after I get my own place again and can display them. Then got a barrel here. I don't know if this is an ink or not, but I actually dug this color. This was not nuked. It was found 8 foot down, and it has a sheared top. So it's not broken. I don't know what this little bump here's for, but I don't know. I like it. I don't know for sure if this is an ink. This could be a barrel mustard. But someone said it was an ink, so I threw it up here with my inks. Then we got a couple ambers. There's an amber cone here. It's an early machine-made one with an 11 on the base. And then there's this one here. I think I dug this around Memorial Day. Next up is Sanford inks. This one has a nice aqua color. It's machine made. It says Sanford on it. Then there's this one here. Sanford Manufacturing Company. It's also square, but smaller than the other one, and it's clear instead of aqua. Then have an aqua cone. Sanford's. Then have a large Sanford's with a partial label, and I'm going to try to move it over here. Maybe that'll help get it in focus. And yes, this is a Doug label, and that's how a Doug label turns out. Also has the embossing on the base too, though. And there's this one here. It's shaped kind of like a bell. this one. This one looks like it's the oldest. Next are Carter's inks. So you got a little rainbow of cones here. I'm missing quite a few colors. They come in many different colors. This one just has aqua, darker green, and lighter green. And I sold one of these in the auction. Carter's, made in USA, has a odd wide top. Harder Carter's to find. And then there's this one here, and it's an amber Carter's. Blown. Then there's this one, and this has a glass thing going down inside it. See the top of it there. And yes, it's a Carter's also. Has to be harder to get one. And this one I like because it is a pin rest. It's kind of hard to see because it's out of focus, but maybe this will be better. Guess that's as good as it's going to get. But yeah, it has a bunch of pin rest on it. Nice aqua color, thick glass, and it's a Carter's. These three here are all Diamond Ink Company ink bottles. Diamond Ink Company with a flared looking lip. Then two squares here. One is aqua, another is amber. Thought that was front embossed too. Ah, there it is. And they are both blown in mold. Then there's this medicine here, well, pill bottle, BP Company. It's a really nice looking bottle, and anyone who's ever been in here asks about it. Like, oh, what was that? These round bottom medicines are not common. And this one here is a Thomas Inks, and that was a Chicago company. They also make an older one that's embossed right around here instead of the base. And this one is a really nice looking one. Higgins, New York. I sold a Higgins jar in one of my lots, so someone got that. They also make one that's this size. It says Brooklyn, New York on it. And this is an odd company. Technical Supply Company, Scranton, Pennsylvania, and it's blown in mold. With the way it's shaped, I'd say it's either an inker or mucilage. Then there's this nice aqua one. And I was told that this was a J.C. Blair Company ink bottle. And I think this is a Pennsylvania ink. I can't remember the city. Maybe Scranton or Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, something like that. And then here's the last one. Are No Noise inkwells. A.H. Andrews Company from Chicago. That's a nice looking ink right there. So that is it when it comes to the inks. Alright, here's the first grouping of smalls. Got a sample Smile soda. Dug it out of the canal dump. Then got a green cylinder. And I'm pretty sure I have a duplicate of one of these, so I'll make one of them available for sale. I'm pretty sure they're both in good condition. I got two different Tillies. This one's a Clay's Tilly. And this one is a geoconine tilly. And this here is the only pink bottle or jar that's in my collection. I think it's a salt shaker. Tommy dug that one, I'm pretty sure, and he sold it to me in a lot. Looks like it's cracked, but oh well. I don't have anything else that color, so it's going to stay in this collection. Then I got a color run of Piso bottles. This one's kind of an odd off color. And when you look at the tops, you can tell me which one of them is not like the other. Smooth, smooth, smooth. And this one is ground. And you might ask, well, why is it ground? Well, because they normally have an odd, taller cork top on them. That would have been up to like here instead. But what someone did was he ground it down to make it look like it was one of the older ones when it actually wasn't. So I did not know that, so someone tricked me on that. And here's only 2 milk glass bottles I got in my collection. Hagen's Magnolia Balm and Sanitol for the teeth. It's upside down. There we go. And that's its original stopper. And that stopper would have had a cork around it, but since the cork decayed, it doesn't sit in there neatly. Almost wondering if I could maybe like buy a cork and then drill a hole in it and stick it on there or something. That way the stopper would fit neatly again. They made the stoppers of flasks and some condiment bottles like that too. Then got a Mason's patent jar. I thought it was just a regular one until I turned it around and saw it says ball on it. I thought that was really cool. According to Redbook, it's not worth that much, but figured I'd keep it because it's cool. Dug that one in Indiana. Then there's these two, and I originally thought they were the same thing, but they're actually different. But the embossing style's about the same. They both have something written going vertical or diagonal, whatever you want to call it, on them. This one says peptenzyme, and this one says protonuclein, or Klein, however you say it. Anyway, I'm a color run guy, so figured why not keep them in case there's other colors that have embossing like that. Next row. This one was dug by another local digger. Well, he used to be local. And a Cincinnati dump. It's open panel. Has a crude rolled lip. It doesn't say anything, but I just thought it was awesome that someone dug a panel bottle in a dump, not a privy. And this one I dug out of a dump in northern Kentucky. It's actually panel too. It's a barber bottle, I think. Has a stopper, and the stopper itself has a bubble in it. That's really cool. I dug this one out of Ironton dump. It's got an applied top, and it has L&W on the base. That stands for Lawrence and Whitman. That company was in business between 1860 something and 1870 something, so that's a pretty old one. Just must be in panel. I dug this in 1914-15 dump in Indiana. And this one was a late throw because this is much older than that. Holes balsam for the lungs. New York. J.F. Henry and Company. And you could tell by looking at that embossing that that one's an early one. I'd say it's at least 1870s. Smooth base, but that's to be expected from an 1870s bottle. It does have a bruise there, but oh well. I just thought it was cool. I found something that old in the dump that was much newer than it was. And these are all W.H. Hooker and Company proprietor bottles. Acres English Remedy for the throat and lungs. So those are all the same but different. I'll put the two blues side by side so you can see the difference there. Amber. And this one's amber, but larger. And got a Larkin bottle. These are pretty common, but I mean, who doesn't want one of these in their collection? They're a nice looking bottle. I need to find a stopper though. And then we got this here, Peptenzyme. Does that name sound familiar? Because that's what this one is. It's also a Peptenzyme. Reed and Carnix, Jersey City, New Jersey. Next row. Poison bottles are very collectible. People are always asking about them. This one's the one that most people find. At least it says poison on it. This one's blown in mold and has poison on one side. Probably from around 1910. Then here's this here. It says Wyeth on one side. And poison on the other. People think this is a Wyeth Captain. Oh, I dug one of those. Well, it's actually not. This is actually a bottle. Then there's this one here. And this one has some nice sharp edges. Poison embossed in really big letters. That one came out Indiana. Has PD and Company on the base. Then there's this one here. That's a unique one. And B and Company. Can't remember what that one stood for. Then got a Whitmore, and people are like, oh, these are all common. Well, not really. These are common in aqua. And they're also common in clear, but only if they're machine made. The blown clear ones are not common. So this is kind of an odd color for a Whitmore. And this is a really good color here. I found it in the loose dirt at a dump site. Someone probably thought it was a common aqua one and didn't brush it off and clean it. And they left a nice green one. Next is this one. I dug this one out of a small town dump near me. At least I think this is the same one I dug. Well, actually it might have been dug by Tommy, because I might have had to buy it off him. He was always digging up cool stuff that I liked. He'd go through different phases where he'd collect, then he'd want to sell. Then he'd collect, then he'd sell. As of now, I think he has one Christian Moorline blob top from Cincinnati, and I think that's all he has because he done sold all the rest. But anyway, I'm always glad when he decides to sell because he digs up some good stuff that I like. These are very common, but this one came out really clean. I mean, this one's almost perfect, so yeah, I had to keep this one. And you would see any sick glass that was there if there was any. It has a bubble there, has a cool looking base, and it's made by the Ohio Bottling Company. I think that was in business only 2 years, 1905 and 1906. Here's another bromo. That one is an off-colored one, so I had to keep that one. People are nuking these apparently and trying to make them off-colored so they can sell them for more money, which is probably why these aren't worth that much. I think they're going for like $30 now. And the reason is because people are buying these fake ones thinking they're real, and so when they're putting these nuked ones out on the market, people think they're more common than they actually are. So that's a big problem. Anyway, you see how all the bromos are made by the Emerson Drug Company. So someone dug one of these at their dump site, and it says Emerson's Rheumatic Cure from Emerson Chemical Company from Baltimore, which is where the Emerson Company was that made bromo seltzer bottles. So this is a pretty good bottle here. I had to trade a pretty good druggist to get this one, and to me it was worth it, so I made the trade. Last is this little bromo caffeine here, and I'll show you that's an odd color. It's not a normal color for a bromo caffeine. It's got like a teal color more than blue, but with the lighting being the way it is here, it's hard to tell. Well, kinda, I guess. Anyway, these are normally a blue color, but they're a lighter blue than a bromo seltzer is, so yeah, this one's kind of cool. It's an off color. Actually, I'm going to get one that's a normal color so I can put it beside it for you. Get a comparison. Normal bromo caffeine, off colored one. So I'll probably keep this bromo caffeine so I can create a color run in case there's any other odd colors of these. I don't think there is, but you never know. Okay, this one is Keesby and Madison Chemists from Philadelphia. That was the same company that put out the bromo caffeine bottles, if I remember right. I got a couple stenciled mini jugs. The first one is from the Oakland Wine Company out of Richmond, Indiana. And the second one is Helmut Rye Max Fruhofen Company from Cincinnati, Ohio. Dug both of those in Indiana, I think. This is a sample Hainer Distilling Company bottle from Dayton, Ohio. Very tough to get compared to the regular Hainer bottles. Sample Edgewood Distilling Company out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And there's a little pumpkin seed with a star in the center of it. Thought that was neat. And these three here are all different Bell-Ann bottles. This one's the most common of the bunch. Payne's Bell. And there's a green one. Then here's a clear one. So these aren't the bell ends that you're gonna dig all the time. Normally you dig the round ones or the square ones that just say Bell and Company. Of course, I guess these do turn up here and there. Then there's a teal Druggist. It's slick, but it's still teal. So I had to keep that one. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. White Oak Tatum and Company. Most common company initials to be embossed on Druggist. This one's machine made, but it's a nice cobalt gargling oil from Lockport, New York. Found that in Indiana with Sister Lady Adventures. Then there's a teal Wyeth and Bro from Philadelphia. Great color on that one. Then we have a sample Dead Stock for Bugs with bold embossing. That's a nice one there. So here's what the full set of Dead Stock for Bugs bottles look like. The sample is the one I just showed. I never did show this one. I don't know what made all those white swirls appear. It's kind of cool looking though. It's got bold embossing. It's a great looking bottle. Then there's the aqua variant. Embossing's weaker, but it's aqua. And I already showed these two from earlier today also, so yep. Go ahead and put them back. Here's some more nice bottles. Got a sample Red Top beer or wine from Cincinnati, Ohio and St. Joseph, Missouri. They got two of these nice Munion's germicide bottles. This one is packed full of embossing. Love it. One of my favorite bottles, even though it's non-local. A couple Palmers here. Made with amazingly thick glass. Here's another Palmer. Found this one with Sister Lady Adventures. Keysby and Madison and Cobalt from Ambler, Pennsylvania. Then there's its twin. This one I had professionally tumbled. Didn't realize it was cracked, but guess what? It still displays nice. You can't even see the crack from here. Now you can see a little bit, but yeah, it turned out great. And then here's a large bromo. It's blown in mold. Weighs quite a bit. Anyway, here's the other Keysby and Madison I showed from earlier. So there's different variants of these Keysby Madison bottles. Next set of bottles after this set, I'm going to be putting up Druggists and other local bottles from the local area I used to live only. First is this Burnett's cocaine bottle. This is actually a hair bottle, not a cocaine bottle. But because of the name, they sell really good. And this is the only one I've ever found, so they're not that common, at least in my area. Early Phillips Milk of Magnesia. This is one of the first cobalt bottles that people find that are new to the hobby, and they get all excited about the screw top ones, but these older ones are a little bit harder to find. SS Stafford's inks. The pour spout. I see a lot of them around, but I had to keep at least one of them. Don't find them too often myself. This one here is a Carter's ink. one day I hope to be able to dig Carter's Cathedral ink. I've always wanted to dig one of them, even though they're machine made. Then here is a Shower Distillery Company flask. I had to put the bottle back up here so you could see the difference between the two. Both blown in mold. And then last is the Hainer flask. I put the sample Hainer bottle next to it so you could see the difference. Found this in the Great Miami River. It's blown in mold. I'm surprised it survived because there's all kinds of rocks in that river. Okay, first we got Great Seal sewing machine oil. I know this isn't a Druggist, but I somehow overlooked it, so it's going to go in with the Druggist. That's one of the hardest to get Great Seal bottles there is, because Great Seal bottles are found everywhere. I could dig Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, or West Virginia, but Great Seal bottles are always turning up, but not this variant. I found this one in a creek in this area, Columbus Pharmacy, or Pharmacal Company, Columbus, Ohio. It's a nice colored Druggist, but it's probably the most colored it's probably the most common colored Druggist there is in Ohio. Found this one in a creek and it cleaned up really nice. Ulrich and Kless, Columbus, Ohio. It's an extract bottle, but it must not be a very common one because that's the only one I've ever seen. Charles Houston, Columbus, Ohio. That one's actually dug all the way down in Ironton. And this one was dug in Ironton also. Homier's Pharmacy, Columbus, Ohio, and it says corner, State, and 4th Streets. I saw a dose glass of this pharmacy come up for sale once. Okay, here's a couple Ironton bottles. Dr. O. Ellison, Ironton, Ohio. This is an earlier looking one too. Another Dr. O. Ellison from Ironton. Has a key mold base, does have a chip there though. The Lucas Drug Company. And I'm gonna have to tumble this one. 105 and 107 South 3rd Street, Ironton, Ohio. Go to Tyler's Drugstore, Ironton, Ohio. Kind of surprised to see that name on a drugstore bottle. Always thought Tyler was a more modern name. So that's blown, so that's over 100 years old for sure. Then there's this one, Peterson and Sons Druggists, St. Clairsville, Ohio. I dug the St. Clairsville dump a few times thanks to Zane giving me a tip about it, and I was able to get permission to dig it, or at least walk through this person's yard to dig it. And one buddy of mine dug this one up, so I traded something to get this one from him. And then last is this one. Dug it in Indiana. Geo Lynn Druggist, Henderson, Kentucky. This seems like it'd be a good bottle. I once asked 30 plus shipping for it and someone turned me down, so it's like, well, if that's too cheap, then nope, I'm not going to sell it. And so now it's like, well, I don't even feel like selling it now. Now someone could offer me double that and I wouldn't sell it. People want to pay common bottle prices for good bottles, and I'm just not going to sell the good bottles. Next row. John L. Vine, Proprietors, El Ramo Pharmacy, Norwood, Ohio. For those who don't know where Norwood is, it's north of Cincinnati. I thought this was a nice bottle, and I think I bought it from this one digger. Yeah, I bought it from him. dug it in northern Kentucky somewhere. The Standard Medicine Company, Watts Bros, General Agents, Lebanon, Ohio. Got that off Joe Hardin. The Druggist, Arnold F. Zinner, Miamisburg, Ohio. Got that off Luke. And this one I had to buy also. J.D. Doughty, Cincinnati, and it has parts of its original label. So I'm trying to be really careful with that one and not touch the original label. And there's this one. Dixon's Blackberry Carminative, Cincinnati, Ohio. Like F. Davison. And that's its original label and dug condition. Non-Perry Cement, Cincinnati. Yeah, I know that's not a druggist, but some of these non-druggist bottles got mixed in with the druggist. G.O.W. Smith, 43 or 143 West 4th Street, Cincinnati. Traded a Piso Cure for that one. Wagner's Pharmacy, 7th Vine, Cincinnati. That one was dug the first time I went to a new dump. Me and this one guy decided to go dump hunting, and we found one, and there was an area that was packed full of druggists like you wouldn't believe. We dug probably a dozen of those, clear and amber of different sizes. I don't know why, but I sold all of them, but that one, well, the other guy, he got some in the pick also. But anyway, he came back the next day without me, and it just died out, and I tried a couple more times and didn't have any luck. So it's weird, it's just a random pocket. Then there's this one here. I think that one came out of the Indiana dump. Or dumps, one of them. CP Green, Cincinnati. It has a crude looking lip on it. So I'd say it's pretty early. I'd say at least 1880s. Coffees. Liniment number 2. It's up in Pownell. I bought it off Digger Dave on eBay, I think. That one's a Blue Ball, Ohio bottle. Blue Ball is east of Middletown. It's just a really small town. When it comes to Indiana bottles, I collect strictly Richmond, just because that's the nearest Indiana town to where I'm at. Well, where I'm going to be at, and where I have been at before I moved here to Southeast Ohio. Anyway, so here's the collection of meds and druggist. Start off with this one here, Shaw's Railroad Liniment. That one has a oval panel. A rare, larger Shaw's Railroad Liniment with a square panel. And those are all Dr. Jake's Kinseys and X4. So those are all 4 different sizes. These 2 here are easy to get. These 2 are tough to get. I already showed the 2 larger sizes earlier. 2 smaller. It's probably the last embossed druggist they made right here. Dr. A. Beaupart, 27 North 8th Street, Richmond, Indiana. W.H. Ross, Druggist, Richmond, Indiana. Here's a different Ross. Does have a chip, W.H. Ross, with a monogram from Richmond. Then we got, oh, knock one over. A J.A. Hyatt and Company Druggist from Richmond, and a Hyatt's Drugstore from Richmond. And the lower one has the address 419 North 8th Street, Richmond, Indiana. This one's more of a perfumer. It's got really flat sides. W.H. Sudoff, Richmond, Indiana. Just very excited to dig that one. J.L. Adams and Company Druggist, Richmond, Indiana. And this one's a really nice one. It's got a D shape. M.B. Ballard Apothecary, Richmond, Indiana, with a rose embossed on it. That's a great one there. And they make a larger size of it too that I don't have. And then there's this one. Old time diggers have said that they've dug an amber one, but it was a different company than this. So people who have been digging there since the 60s haven't even dug one of these. A.J. Lucan and Company Pharmacist, Richmond, Indiana. And that's the only colored one I have from there. It's a great one. Couple others I missed. Richmond Superior Flavoring Extracts from Richmond, Indiana. You can find them in Richmond, but outside of it, it's not going to be something you'd find. Well, you might, but anyway, here's the next one. Here's a Cincinnati bottle, Dr. Wister's Balsam Wild Cherry from Cincinnati. David tumbled this one for me, and he did great. Has a K symbol. I cannot remember what that Glassworks was. Stood for some Glassworks. Tommy dug this one, I think. I can't remember if I had to buy it off him or if he got it in the, or if I got in the pick. Okay, first round of Dayton's, and these are all extracts except the last one. Really tough to get large Sounders flavoring extract from Dayton. Does have a hole in it though. But it still displays nice. I'm debating on whether I want to collect these different extracts or just stick with the Druggist or not. But I had some in my personal collection and some I was planning on selling. Here's another Sounders, and this one's a commonly seen one. I don't have a most commonly seen one because I sold them all, but I can always find another one easily. This one is fairly common in certain areas, but uncommon in other areas. Same with these two here. Royal Remedy Extract Company with a crane, and this one says Crane Extract Company with a crane. And here's a larger Crane Extract Company with a crane. Here's a larger Royal Remedy Extract with the crane. And here's a Cooks and Bakers Flavoring Extract from the Sounders and Company from Dayton. They also made a different variant than this. There's this one here. Sounders Flavoring Extracts. It's a scarce variant, that's for sure. It does have a crack on it though. There's this one here from the Royal Remedy Extract Company. It's a square one. Trappers Magnetic Relief, Royal Remedy Company, Dayton, Ohio. So I think that's all I have for now, but I have found a couple others. Anyway, here's the next one. It's not related to the previous bottles at all. Electric Liniment from Dayton, Ohio. Dr. Beatlow's. Final group of Daytons. As you can see, I don't have any colored Druggists from there, but there are two teal ones. One is Webster and the other is Sox and Prudence. So I'll be on the lookout for them if I dig again, or at least dig that dump. Pretzinger's Guitar Balm, Dayton, Ohio. It's a machine-made little jar. And these are all Jenkins cut-rate drugstores. I showed this one earlier. Didn't show the small size or the next one up. Late blown Druggist. That one's a really clean one. I already showed this one. It looks the same as the other two, except it's larger, so go on to this one. I think I actually dug this one in Indiana instead of Dayton. Oh, Lipa Cream for Complexion. Dayton Drug Company, Dayton, Ohio. Spangler's Rheumatic Remedy, Dayton, Ohio. Dug that one in Dayton. John W. Miller Druggist, Dayton. That one came out of Dayton. And these next three I think I got from Digging It. I traded him some sodas for it, or for them. H.D. Carnell Pharmacist, Dayton, Ohio. G.O.W. Martin Pharmacist, corner of Cincy and Washington Streets, Dayton, Ohio. Henry A. Hackard, Apothecary, Dayton, Ohio. And here's a type of patina I like. I just like the way it looks on that one. So that one I would keep the way it is instead of tumble it. I think he dug these three out of Privy's, if I remember right, because I don't think he's much of a dump digger. These two I think I might have bought. W.M.P. Graybill Pharmacist, Dayton, Ohio. Charles H. Graham Pharmacist, corner of Brown and Oak Streets, Dayton, Ohio. Days Drugstore, 3rd and Marion Streets, Dayton, Ohio. This is blown in mold, but I actually dug it on the machine-made side of the Dayton dump. It's a bunch of 1920s stuff. And this is a really nice one. Z.T. Hoover Druggist, West End Drug Store, Dayton, Ohio. And then there's this one. And I actually dug this one in my hydraulic canal dump in Middletown. Z.T. Hoover Druggist, Dayton, Ohio. And that little guy is actually aqua. So I guess I do have a colored druggist. I normally don't call aqua colored, but aqua druggists are pretty scarce in Ohio anyway. You do find common aqua bottles like Whitmore or some other kinds of polishes or Kilmers or some of these Chicago bottles, but local aqua bottles are hard to get. So I was pretty happy to dig this one. I'd say it's at least 1880s. Alright, so that is it for the Dayton. Okay, so this is actually the best bottle in my collection. W.J. Ross Harry Store Franklin, Ohio, and it's a dark amber color. And it's a nice one. That's one that you're probably not going to see anywhere besides one other example that's in some person's private collection. It's sand panel. It does have some chipping there. And it has a nice crude looking flared lip. I guess you wouldn't call it flared, or would you? I don't know. But it's a crude bottle. It's only the second known example to exist. It's 1860s or 70s. Some guy found one of these in the river. And so I decided to try myself, and so I went in. And I just happened to be swimming in it, and my hand ended up going between two cement chunks, and I felt this and was able to get it out. And I had it professionally tumbled by Chip Cable. It looks great. Some guy offered me an amount that went into the thousands for it. Well, he was going to offer it if it was perfect. It has this stuff on it, but it's local to me. Franklin is right next to Middletown, so I think I'll keep it.